welcome to my workstation. It's a mess, sorry about that. Today we're gonna do some conformal coating on my buddy Peyton's quad, so I figured I'd run a little tutorial just in case some of you have never done it before or don't know what you need to get it done safely. So let's jump into it. Okay, so what you'll need to do conformal coating is, of course, conformal coating. This is MG Chemicals Formula 422C, which is silicone conformal coating that is UV indicative. I don't know. You can see it with a UV flashlight. I suppose I should have grabbed that out too. I need one of those. And I've also got the brush that comes with it. A little container to put that in. You'll want, something to set it down in because this stuff gets everywhere. I've got my UV flashlight. You can, get those pretty much at the hardware store or like Ace Hardware or something, something like that. Any UV flashlight will work as long as gives off UV light. Got some gloves. Definitely want to have that. I have Loctite brand blue Fun-Tack. Whatever brand is fine as long as it works the same. This is to cover up any of the ports, USB ports, buttons. If you have a barometer, you can put it over that. This VTX has pins on it that need to be clear, so I'm gonna put some blue tack on that and coat the rest of this, and probably put a little bit on there. And oh yeah, don't forget the alcohol. This says 70%, but I filled it with 91 because it's in a little bottle and I carry that with me. So you'll want to have that for cleaning up afterwards, and that's it really. And your electronics, of course. So yep, let me get suited up and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I didn't put the gloves on yet because I gotta work with the sticky tack first, or else it's gonna get stuck all over the gloves. So little note for you guys, do the sticky tack first or you're gonna be fighting it the whole time. Okay. This stuff, can get kind of hard. I've had it for a year, but it's still good. You can just knead it around in your fingers and stretch it, get it back to what it's supposed to be like, and then, rip a little bit off. I'm gonna probably use a little piece here, something just to cover up whatever you don't want conformal coating on. Alright, clearly I forgot a couple things, so I'm gonna jump back in here while I'm putting the Fun-Tack on the boards. I assume that you would have already cleaned these if you're gonna coat them, but that's not obvious to everybody, so make sure you clean your electronics. You can use alcohol, and I use a toothbrush, and just give them a nice scrub off and get the gunk and the dirt and whatever else off as much as you can. It's not gonna damage anything. And then let it dry completely for at least like 24 hours. Probably isn't necessary that you wait that long, but I wait that long just to be safe. You could probably wait 12 hours. It honestly depends on how your environment is at evaporating that. Like if you put it on heat, it'll probably evaporate the alcohol pretty quickly. But it's always safer to just wait 24 hours. Okay, then you will want to, after you've cleaned it, I literally scrubbed everything. I scrubbed in the connectors, cables, I scrubbed the boards plenty. So yeah, clean them all out. If you've done any soldering, you want to clean that flux off. And then take your gummies out once it's dry or whenever. It doesn't really matter when you take the gummies out. But get those little suckers out, and then we'll be ready to start coating. All right, I've got almost all the gummies out. There's one right here in the ESC that wants to rip apart, and I don't want to rip it, so I'm just gonna stay off it with the paint, with the conformal coating, excuse me. But anyway, so it's good enough for now. Before you get started, it's a good idea to pick a good place to do this, because as you can see, it is a toxic chemical that is flammable, and it is also pretty stinky. So my family's not home right now. I'm gonna open some windows in my house and do it inside, but it's good to do in the garage or somewhere that you have good ventilation. All right, just gloving up now. Really hate gloves. All right. Let's rock and roll. Windows are open. Now we're gonna do some conformal coating. All right, I don't think there's much left to get ready here, so we're just gonna get into it. On the VTX, as you can see, I put some some sticky tack on there. Just enough so I won't paint on these pin holes. You can just paint right over most of this here, because when you put a soldering iron back on it, it's gonna burn it all off. It's really not super messy. It's a little messier than without, but the conformal coating will just come off. You can also use the alcohol to scrub it off. It's pretty hard to get off with alcohol. So make sure you do a good job preparing so you don't have to fix something. Because I mean, I've tried to get it off of a couple boards and it is very difficult. As for the connectors too, you can leave those plugged in. Just make sure you're not like dousing that with conformal coating, or else it's gonna mess it up. If you have to remove a connector, go for it, and then put the sticky tack in there. But otherwise, you can leave them plugged in. You could plug a USB into that if you want, which I actually might do instead. All right, USB is plugged in. Let's get to work. Doesn't really matter where you start. Make sure you read your bottle. It'll say right on it how long you need to wait for it to dry and for it to cure. And we need, let's see. Actually, I lied about that. I think it's on the packaging, and I threw that packaging away. But I'm pretty sure it's about a 6 hour or some, dry time or something like that. I'll look it up and put it in the video so you guys know for sure. But the cure time is 24 hours. So if you want it completely cured, you gotta wait anyway. But I put 2 coats on. You can just wait for it to dry and put your second coat on, and then wait for it to cure. All right, here we go. Not sure if you can see in the video because it's on my GoPro, but it's starting to give a little bit of shine wherever you put it on. It'll be shiny after it's dry too. It's just a little harder to tell. That's why we have the light. Okay. ESC's done. Let's hit the flight controller. Oops, got a little too much on there. Okay, first coating is complete. I'll try to turn off this light and see if I can show you what it looks like. Not sure if you guys can see that. But even with a good painting on there, I mean, it's not perfect. That's why I do 2 coats. Plus, using the light after really helps you see what you need. There's usually like the corners of the MOSFETs or some of these taller components that you kind of can't get under the first time around. So, all right, I'm gonna give it just a minute and probably hit it again. Yeah, I guess you can kind of see compared to this one. This one's not fluorescing. These light up like crazy. See, the whole bottle lights up. So just look for that. Wherever you're missing spots, just cover it a little better. I don't think you have to wait the full time to dry. All right, I'm gonna hit this side one more time. Then, yeah, this should be good. Alright, now here comes the waiting part. You gotta let this dry to flip it over and handle it safely any more than this, but it's up to you. If you want to, you know, be the next Wild West conformal coater, then you go for it. But I'm gonna let this dry for a bit, and then I will check back in when it's dry, flip it over, and do some more. What's up? It's been 5 minutes, maybe. This stuff dries pretty quick. I mean, not according to the label, wherever that is, but I mean, it's pretty much dry to the touch now, or just barely tacky. That's in 5 minutes, so I feel like that's enough time for you to comfortably move it over. So I'm gonna flip mine now and then coat the other side. Just the FC though, because this ESC here has a, what the f called? This thing. Heat sink, there we go. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's got the heat sink on there. I didn't want to take it off. So I'm gonna go around the heat sink and get the power leads and that stuff. But yeah, if you can take the heat sinks off if you're feeling up to it. This isn't my quad, so it's not my choice. All right, we're flipped. This doesn't have anything to do on the back, so that's good. And here we go. Try to move this a little closer for you guys. Okay. I didn't see any barometer on this flight controller. So, Peyton, if you're watching, sorry, bud. Barometer, but honestly, I didn't see one, so I think it's clear. Plus, your VTX has a barometer on it. Never used the TBS VTXs. All right, here we go. Right where I'm hitting it right now. Try not to, go over the connector. If you get that USB connector filled with this stuff, I'm serious, it will be almost impossible for it to work. You're gonna spend hours scrubbing it, and it might just be easier to put a new connector on the flight controller at that point. And I'm telling you from experience, because I spent probably an hour and a half scrubbing my 3.5 inch trying to get this crap out of it. But that just means it works really well. So be careful and do a good job, and it'll make you happy. And I'm also not affiliated with this. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm not getting paid for telling you that I like this. I just like it. So if you know another brand or some other way of waterproofing your electronics, leave it in the comments. I'd love to talk about it. I'm always down to learn something new. All right. At least doing the ESC from this side, I can get part of the fats on there. We'll see how that looks. Probably terrible. All right. Nope, we did good. Those are perfect. And probably need to hit the flight controller one more time. Still good on the VTX. All right. This will be the last coat, I think. Last application, if you will. We'll clean up and be done. Honestly, the prep is what takes more time than anything, but if you prep well, then you can just go for it and not worry about coating the wrong thing. Yeah, I was a little extra liberal with that. Okay. Looks good. I'm happy. Hopefully Peyton's gonna be happy. And this is where it's gonna sit for the next 24 hours. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you have anything to add or if I messed something up or forgot something. But I think we covered everything. Well, there you have it. Conformal coating. Pretty easy. If you guys enjoyed seeing a tutorial for this, let me know. And if there's other tutorials that maybe I can do in the future, I definitely will. I'm working on one for 3D printing right now and doing some remixing of files so you guys can make your own, special TPU parts for your quads. And I'm just getting into the design a little bit too, so I can show you that. And yeah, let me know.